Okay, so the beginning of every year, we have a tradition of talking about getting back to basics. So this month of January, we're going to reground our fundamental science of mind, new thought, spirituality, to really bring it home, to deepen into it in our unique way, because we all have a unique way of absorbing information. But truth is truth, and truth hits the truth within each and every one of us, and that truth is the God truth, the divine truth. Each week we will bring, if you're familiar with this, which most of us here might be, we can bring fresh eyes to it, deepen into it. Maybe we forgot a little bit. I know I like to be reminded. So, we remind ourselves about this truth. And they're really life-altering teachings, really are. A whole new, different way of approaching life. And I'm telling you, it's so much better than the way before these teachings over 30 years ago that I learned. And while we're looking at these things with fresh eyes and from a new perspective this whole month, there are some things that are so basic, so fundamental, but there is always a way to go to a deeper level with them. And there is a deeper, well, we might say, a deeper level of what? A deeper level of understanding. A deeper level of moving into an opportunity of allowing these spiritualities to take us to a whole deeper realm of being in our daily lives. It's practical. It really is such a beautiful way to live life. And on this first day of this new year of 2023, it's a perfect time to start. Perfect time to start. We bring spirituality then into our everyday human reality. And that's what we're going to start to do today. So my invitation to you is that we put on fresh eyes on some things that we might have heard before. Like, there is one principle and presence in the universe, one cosmic reality, God, or whatever you want to call this higher power. In New Thought, we don't get hung up on labels. In fact, we don't particularly like labels. We realize that some people might have some negative feelings around the word God. And in that case, for you, my heart goes out to you. I mean, really does. I truly mean that. And now, with the utmost of love and respect, I invite you to get over it. It's just a word, okay? It is a word, but we have a lot of beliefs attached to certain words. So Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, this whole New Thought, ancient wisdom, because truth has been around since we've been around and before that, uses God a lot. So I'm going to be quoting him today. But now is the time to heal anything around that word. I mean, over the many years I've studied this, I mean, people they don't like that word. They just don't like it. And to me, it's just a word. Any word that you hear that brings something up in you, change it in your mind. Just think of another word. You can call it divine intelligence, infinite energy. To me, that's what it is. It's an energy field. It's an energy. It's all energy. So let's start this idea again. I'm going to read this to you. There is one principle and presence in the universe, one cosmic reality, with a capital R, God. All creation originates in this one source. God is all there is. From this infinite source flows the spiritual, mental, and physical universe. All that is flowing out of this creative field, this energy field. Because that's what God is. A beautiful, perfect energy field that creates out of itself all that is. all of life, all of love, all of law, spiritual law, all energy, all harmony, all being, all physical form or effect are contained within this one divine life. This is simple yet a deeply profound concept, one that we can get and forget. We get it and then we can forget it. Life gets in the way, and sometimes we are shocked by certain situations or diagnoses or all kinds of things, and we forget. So what I'm encouraging all of us to remember that even though, and to honor those human situations and experiences, but remember at the same time, this too shall pass, it always passes. But that truth within us is eternal, is the only truth with a capital T that exists. It is our God self, and it is beautiful. And it's always there to support us, to guide us, to be with us. Everything is contained within the one. It's all God, one life. If you are new to this, you might have, as I said, had been forgotten the concept that requires a shift in thinking, because we have slipped into duality thinking. Duality thinking, that's what we moved out of, into a oneness, a unity thinking. And duality thinking is God and anything else. God and the devil, God and evil, heaven and earth, God and anything else. We don't believe that. No way. We believe it's all God. And if it's all God, it truly is, and in harmony with itself, it is all good. And if it's all that divine energy, it is for us, always for us. And I'd like you to repeat after me. It's all God.
It's all God.
And what does that say about us then? We are each a creation of this divinity. Each and every one of us have been created out of this substance. There's nothing else to create us out of. All animal, all planets, everything, all universes have been created out of this magnificent divine energy. It's God substance, unique, individualized incarnations of spirit. So this incarnated spirit is the essence of every human being. This essence is unique to each of us. It can never be lost. I love this part. I always think about this. It cannot be lost, damaged, diminished, or destroyed throughout our eternal journey. That's the brilliance of it. It can't be. Every situation that you are in, every relationship that you are in can change. This one eternal truth that is within each and every one of us, supporting us, cannot change. It cannot. Despite our feelings of separation, the oneness is irrevocable and eternal. It is who we are. Irrevocable. I love that. We are one with infinite potential, creator of all that is. We are eternal. Now, a lot of this you've heard before, but for me, in this new year, as I said in the beginning, it is a regrounding, a remembering, because it is the only way to truly live life in happiness, because nothing can disturb the peace that is within you, that divine peace that is within you. Nothing can disturb it. It looks that way in our human realm, but in that divine self that's within us, cannot be changed. We have a phrase that we often use, which I also love. Very simple. God in me, as me, is me. So I'm going to ask you to repeat that with me. I'll say it again. I'll say it slow. God in me, as me, is me. So that isness, that beautiful, as I said, divinity within us is our guide. It guides us, it loves us, It brings clarity to our thinking when we pause and take that breath and just allow that. Call it in. It's there. It always answers. It waits for a receptive energy field. It waits for our hearts to open. And because this is true, no matter what, we're enough. Not because of anything that we have ever done or ever will do, but because the source of our identity is God, is this infinite energy. It is a divine identity. Or as Ernest Holmes put it, the highest God and the innermost God is the one God. It is all, as I said, divine energy. And I am one with that. You can remember that. I am one with that. You don't even have to understand. In the beginning, I didn't know what the heck I was even talking about, but I did know that there was a peace within me because something within me, in foundations class actually, was opened. And I remembered that. And I remember one affirmation, because there was a lot of turmoil in my life at that point. I remember this one affirmation was, I am peace. And so I had a little reckoning with myself, which I have to do from time to time when I start to get out of hand with myself. And I said, I can't believe this. I don't feel peace. I am not peace. But then I broke it down and I said, do you believe that God is peace? And I did. I really did. I just felt right. It felt like truth. And then I thought, then I can use the affirmation. If God is peace, then I am peace, since I am created out of the peace of God. Whatever we have to do to shift our thinking, to shift our lives, so that we can really have that clear choice. Choose to be in chaos or choose to be in peace. It changes everything. Everything. We do not believe in original sin. Isn't that lovely? Oh, really? I was brought up Roman Catholic. We do not believe in original sin. How insane is that? Okay, but that's, that's the belief. We respect that belief, but I can't believe it. Okay, enough of that. But we are never going to tell you that you are sinners. So you don't have to be concerned about that, you sinner. Oh my God, I'm having fun with this. Perhaps, what I am glad of is that instead of believing in original sin, we believe in original perfection or original innocence. Doesn't that sound better? You got a little baby coming in, you sinner. I gotta wash it all off of you and baptize you. How about that baby is born in original innocence? Just beauty and perfection, just flowing through it and out of it. Because to me that feels real. That feels real. So this is the nature of reality with a capital R. That's always describing the infinite. That it is non-negotiable. It cannot be won or lost, bought or sold. Nor is it a gift that God bestows upon someone and has them follow a doctrine of a particular religion. It simply is the way it is. It's just so powerful. It's just so powerful. Spirit put the stamp of individuality upon itself and calls itself you. Because that's what we are created. We all are gods. Because we all are created out of that God substance. While you do not have the power to change your actual identity, for now, we can change how we think about ourselves. That's what we can change. One day we may think of ourselves as capable of dealing with life, and on the next day, incapable. But the truth is, regardless of appearances or how we feel. We are one with all the power in the universe. That's how powerful we are. We are one with all the power in the universe. Therefore, we are always capable. Always. These beautiful, empowering New Thought teachings then reveal the nature of reality and the part that we play in it. They answer that age-old question, who am I? You know, that's the biggest question that's been asked. Remember the first time you asked yourself that question? I know I was about 15 or 16. Who am I? I was into my existential period. Who am I? Who am I? But the thing is that existentialism really was the truth of what science of mind is about. It's all energy. It's all particles moving. That is what it really is. I am a child of the divine. So, this age-old question, who am I, by telling us that we are conscious centers of divine intelligence, and as such, we have the ability to use our conscious mind to create desired experiences. We are powerful creators of our lives. We're going to find out next week with Dana. If any of you know Dana Smith, she's a practitioner. She has a lot of energy, and she's extremely passionate. And so that's going to be a really great little workshop she's going to be starting us off in the new year with, so that we can create consciously. And I love this from Thomas Troward, who influenced greatly. He was in the 1880s into the early 1900s. He greatly influenced Ernest Holmes. But he wrote this in his book, The Dory Lectures. But all the time, there has been no change in the universal spirit. The only change has been in mental attitude of the individual. He has come into a new thought, a clearer perspective of God. He faced the questions, what is God? Where is God? How does God work? And he found the answer in the apostolic, I had that perfectly at home, statement that God is over all, through all, and in all. And he realized that God is the root of his own being, the very root of his own being, ever present in him, ever working through him, and universally present around him, in all, through all, as all. There is no place that this divine energy, this God, is not. It is omnipresent. If it's omnipresent, it's everywhere all at the same time. Our starting point then, and so let me just clarify. When I say divine energy, it's like when I go into meditation, I'm talking about a bright, brilliant light. Just that's what I get of what is this higher power. It's this beautiful light. And so it's eternal. And so when we leave these bodies, as we all will, we are in this brilliant light. This is the afterlife that we believe in. And I kind of believe that we can even create our own afterlife. That's a whole nother talk. Just by what we believe now. Our beliefs create, right? Our thoughts are creative. So our starting point then is to recognize that everybody matters, whether they know it or accept it. Everyone is enough, because each person exists at the individualization of the creative power of the universe that we call God, a power that exists within each one, and yet transcends the individual. Is so much more. We've heard it said that our bodies are contained within our inner self, that we're in this energy field, that it's way out, and people that read energy and stuff can see those fields like it could be at either end of this room, and it's all that individualized self. So our bodies are inside of that. So we are much more. I can't read energy fields. That's what they tell me, so why not? It sounds good. So, this great truth satisfies the soul because it takes us home to the very source of our being. In God, we are enough. We are more than enough. We truly are. And this is why these teachings feel right. And that's the word I used to use a lot. It just feels right. I don't have any academic answer for you. It feels right. And if it feels right to me, then it is right. It's right for me. Everybody has that choice. Everybody. During one Sunday lecture, Ernest Holmes said this: "Many who had lost faith in God had, in this new manner of thinking, found what their souls had sought. The emphasis is insistently on God, ever present, ever available, and our ability to make ourselves receptive to the inflow of the divine spirit. In essence, this is the primal message of enlightened prophets of all ages, and this is the message of New Thought, of religious science. This idea is beautifully illustrated in one of my absolutely favorite stories, and it's written by Jack Canfield in one of his Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And I've used it before, but I love it, so I'm going to use it again right now. It's perfect. So, and this is actually a true story. In the late 1950s, a group of monks, this is in his book, had in their monastery a giant clay Buddha. The clay Buddha was enormous, 10.5 foot tall, weighing over 2.5 tons. In 1957, the monastery was being relocated. And so everything, including this giant Buddha, had to be moved. When the crane began to lift the giant statue, the weight of it was so tremendous that it began to crack. What's more, the rain began to fall. The head monk, who was concerned about the damage to the sacred Buddha, decided to lower the statue back down to the ground and to cover it with a large canvas tarp to protect it, and try to move it again the next day. Later that evening, the head monk went out into the rain to check it. He shined his flashlight under the tarp to see if it had stayed dry. As the light reached a place where the Buddha had cracked, the monk noticed a tiny little gleam shining back at him. He thought, how strange. As he took a closer look at this gleam of light, he wondered if there might be something underneath the clay. He ran inside and got a chisel and a hammer and began to chip away at the clay. As he knocked off shards of clay, the little gleam grew brighter and bigger. Many hours of labor went by before the monk stood face to face with an extraordinary solid gold Buddha. Now, historians believe that several hundred years before the head monk's discovery, the Burmese army was about to invade Thailand. The monks in the land at that time, realizing that their country would soon be under attack, covered their precious Buddha with an outer covering of clay in order to keep the treasure from being looted by the Burmese army. Unfortunately, it appeared that the Burmese slaughtered all the monks, and the true nature of the Buddha was buried under this coating of clay. That day in 1957, when the Buddha was to be moved, at That's when it was revealed. And Canfield wrote this: aren't we all like, this is so good, aren't we all like the clay Buddha, covered with a shell of hardness created out of fear? And yet, underneath each of us is a golden Buddha, a golden Christ, a golden essence, which is our real self. Somewhere along the way, we began to cover up our golden essence, our natural self. Much like the monk with the hammer and the chisel, it is now our task to discover our true essence once again. That is just, I think, so powerful. We are brilliant, brilliant lights underneath all of this exterior that we have to protect ourselves, to get through life. We've just piled it on us to keep the fear away. You know, and people are still doing it. Just keep piling it on so that true nature, that essence that wants to shine, it can't get through until we begin to chip it away. So let me leave you with a passage from Ernest Holmes' book entitled The Art of Living, formerly called This Thing Called Life. So he wrote this: God is life, not some life, but all life. God is action, not some action, but all action. God is power, not some power, but all power. God is pure spirit, filling all space. The pure spirit animates our every act. There is a real you which lives in a real God, and the two are one. One. The two are one. It can sometimes feel like we are living dualistically. You sure can feel that way. And yet, and seriously, that's okay. It's okay because we're having the human experiences. Nothing bad about it. It's okay. You have to be gentle with ourselves. We can go through fear and confusion while remembering, if we can do this, at the same time, that it is an experience. It will pass. Always passes. Always. Your experience doesn't last forever, your whole entire life, correct? So it does pass at some point. And if it doesn't, then book a session with our practitioners and ministers. They will help you uncover your Buddha light. But it will pass, and by doing this spiritual practice of knowing that all there is God, a universal oneness always present, we have rewired our belief system, our subconscious, our DNA. We're rewiring it, and it really does work. We've cleared a bunch of stuff out of the subconscious. Only one way to get to the subconscious, through the conscious mind. And most of the time, we don't know what's in our subconscious. 95% of everything is in that subconscious. That's where our fear, our memories, everything lies. But we can chip it away, but with these new beliefs. And we know how much of this teaching we have remembered while we are going through life's experience. Everything is a lesson. If we keep our minds stayed on these ideas, we will not only start the year with God, we will stay in this divine presence energy for all of 2023 and beyond. But being the first day of this year, to me, it's so pristine, it's so sacred, it's a holy day. It's a holy day where we can reflect, where we can come to terms with how we really want our lives to unfold for us. So I am wishing each and every one of us a fulfilling, peaceful, joyous, and loving New Year. And to remember to shine our brilliant lights. And so it is.
So it is.
Woo!